Welcome back to my series Bite-Sized Guides for Planetary Annihilation. Today I want to talk about something that's really powerful as a mechanic in the game, but fairly few people know about, and that is the priority queue, also known as control queuing. So let's go over the theory first, and then I will show you how it looks in practice. So let me fire up a little paint screen here. Cool, starting with the basics. This is how your regular queue works. If you queue, say, 3 ants and 1 infernos, what will happen is you're gonna start building them. You're gonna build the first ant, you're gonna build the second ant, you're gonna build the third one, so on. And when it finishes, it's gonna go all the way back to the front. So that's basics. If you add additional units at the end of this queue, of course, we are assuming that we're using infinite build, which is this thing over here. You can check my video on recommended mods for how to get this permanently on, so that you don't have to go and click anyway. But basically, all of you should be using like continuous or infinite build on all of your factories. Cool. So, whenever you want to add something, like I have here with my ants queued down, let's say I want to add striker or something, that striker will be added at the very, let's not use a striker, let's use something I have here available. Say spinner. That spinner will be added at the very end of the build queue. So take it. And yeah, now you have a spinner at the very end of your build queue. And the issue with this is sometimes you can't really wait until everything is done, which leaves you with not that many options. The only thing you can really do is you can click the stop button on your factories, which will cancel everything. And then you can make that spinner in case you're getting bombed or it's an emergency or something, etc. However, there's a better way to do things, because stopping your factory means that all the metal that you can have invested in the unit that you're currently building is gone. The unit just gets insta-deleted so that the factory can restart itself. The queue gets insta-deleted, so you have to re-queue everything later, and so on and so forth. And the better way that things can be done is called the priority queue. So the way the priority queue works is if you hold Ctrl on your keyboard, any unit that you control click, any unit that you click to be built, will be built basically immediately after the current one is complete. So let's go back again to the example here at hand. We have our queue preset, and let's say we want to add a skitter. So if you hold Control and you click the skitter, now as soon as the ant that you're currently building is completed, what will happen is the priority build will then go and it will build the skitter, and then it will continue with the next ant, and so on and so forth. An important thing is that once this skitter is completed, it will be removed from the queue. So only one of them will be built, and then the queue will continue on as it goes. So you don't need to re-queue anything. You don't need to cancel stuff. You don't need to like make major adjustments. If you want one skitter, you hold Control, you click the skitter, and it's out. And this is really powerful for a couple of reasons. The first one is quite often you're gonna find yourself in emergencies where you say you don't have mine detection, or you don't have any anti-air, or you want to get a couple of infernos, or you want to get like ghillies or something, like specialist units that you don't really want too many of in your regular rotation. Like it's just a very circumstantial situation where you want something slightly different from what you've already set. And control queue is how you can do this quickly and efficiently without fucking everything up. There's one quirk that you should know, which is that if you control click multiple units, it works slightly differently from how regular controlling works. So as I showed you earlier, when you add something to the regular queue, it comes all the way at the end of the regular queue. However, if you add something to the priority queue, what happens is this unit is added before the queue. So let's say if I first control click skitter, and then I control click a spinner, what will happen is it's not the skitter that's going to be built first, even though I clicked it first. It's going to be the last thing I clicked, which is the spinner. So basically, the last thing you control clicked is going to be the first thing that's built. It's like the regular queue, but in reverse. This is just like a trick in case you do some more advanced stuff. It's useful to know. But let me very quickly show you how this looks in practice in a real game. Cool. So we have our factory here. 3 ants, 1 inferno, 1 spitter. We pause it and let's finish the first ant so I can show you. Now, a second ant starts being built. I find myself besieged by mines or a bomber is coming or something, and I want to make a skitter. So I hold Ctrl, I click, and now as soon as this ant is done, the factory immediately starts producing a skitter. And then let's say I want anti-air, I can Ctrl click a spinner, and then as soon as this guy is done, the next thing in the factory will be a skitter. And notice that this guy disappeared immediately from the queue as soon as it was done, because the priority queue is only active for 1 cycle. So we have our anti-air, or anti-air, and then the build queue continues. It's gonna make the final ant, it's gonna make an inferno, and it's gonna make a regular spinner, and it's gonna go all over again. 3 ants, 1 inferno, 1 spitter, so on and so forth. Again, this is exceptionally useful, especially if you want to get fabs. So if your fabricators get sniped, you want to rebuild, you can Ctrl click a couple of them, and then the factory continues as usual, without flooding everything with an infinite number of fabs. So yep, I hope this was useful. In my next video, I will talk about the other very important function of the control key, which is control moving, displaying range, and breaking formation. But that's for later. For now, I hope this is useful and good luck on the battlefield.